Kyle told me that.
How's this thing
Both
working?
floors.
Everything? The music?
We're here.
Okay.
I think the microphone's working on it fine. We'll have to see how the speaker system works, so. All right, we are going to call the meeting to order at 5 PM. First up on the agenda, yep, is the Board of Selectmen minutes from December 6th, 2021. It was the workshop that you or I were at.
This
Yep.
is the one, they were tabled last week, so
Right.
Gil can't vote.
Right.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Same goes for the next set of minutes, which is the Board of Selectmen non-public workshop minutes for 12/6/2021.
I make a motion to accept those minutes.
I second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. You got Gil, right?
Scott, Gil is,
Gil abstains.
yeah, I'm with you, I cannot talk today.
Next one I have to abstain because I wasn't here.
Right.
Yeah, so next we have the Board of Selectmen, meeting minutes from January 11th.
Make a motion to accept them as presented.
All right, I will second them. All those in favor? Aye. All those that abstain?
Abstain.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have CP Graham on the, purchase of winter sand.
That could be scary.
Uh-oh.
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna
coming out,
shut
Skippy.
this thing
How scary are you gonna make it? No.
He's got his glasses on, so. What do you guys, Skippy? Thanks for coming out tonight.
You're welcome. I just wondering why we're buying sand from Thornton. How that comes about.
Winter sand?
Yeah. For the
Um,
road, yeah.
You wanna speak to it, or you
Yeah.
want me to?
No, no problem.
Okay,
I was using Rexa sand.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering why.
First
Rex
3
ain't
years,
using that.
first 3 years I was here. And we're having trouble with it. There was no grip to it. Basically, all it did is colored the road. It wasn't no grip, no sand.
How do you determine that?
Well, usually you can see the pebbles after you sand. You can see them bouncing the road, or you can feel the traction when you drive
No,
the
I
hills.
mean, how do you determine that, the town? How do they, I know how to determine it. I've been doing it for 40 years.
Okay.
I know all about that, but I'm not here to cause trouble and make enemies.
No,
No.
I'm
Trying to
I worked
answer your
for Rex
question.
Caulder for 10 years, he uses me good.
No, you've been good to us. I have nothing against Rex.
I
In
can't
fact,
personally
me
see
and Rex
why
talked
they're
this
doing
summer.
that,
Oh, me and Rex talked
especially
this
the
summer.
way
about-
they're doing
Can I
it.
explain?
Yeah, go ahead, you can.
And so anyways, the sand wasn't working very well. And I had talked to someone else, and they said that they were getting good sand, had some grip to it and working well from Andrews.
And when did this all take place?
3 years ago. I've been here 6 years, and like I said, I used Rex's sand for 3 years.
So
And-
3 years ago is when you,
About 3 years ago, this is the third year I've been using Andrews sand.
so you never done any more looking into that, or? I don't understand, what I don't understand is, and like I say, keep saying it, I ain't trying to make enemies with you.
No, no,
I've been friends
I
with you all my
understand.
life, all your life, I should say. My problem with all that is, I met one of them trucks that I was coming up Route 3 loaded with sand with the chains, snowplows bouncing and all that shit. Had I been in your job, I'd have fired the guy when he got home and said, hey, shut that thing off, see ya, or whatever. To me, that caught my attention right there, but then the fact that I work for Caulder, and if he sells you guys 400, 500, 600 yards of sand, and he says to me, go haul sand for 3 days, I like that. That's part of it.
Well, I don't wanna buy bad sand just to give you a
Well,
job
I know you don't, and,
And I don't buy,
like I said,
not buying not sand
I've
from
got
Rex.
two
For any-
containers that high of sand right in my truck right now. Could you show me could you show me, I can't see the difference, maybe you could,
Well,
could you show me that? or-
you can compare it with the sand I have in the pit, I have
have,
it down
that's
there,
why
I don't
got
know.
it. One from your storage shed
Yeah.
and one from Calder's, and I done that 3 weeks ago, I think it was. And to me, I'm pretty good at dirt work. Like I
Yeah.
said, I've been doing that. I remember when you were born, I was starting out doing
Okay.
that.
Yep. I've only been doing this job for 6 years, and like I said,
I
his
know
sand
how
just
long
had,
you've been, I know,
we're
I
slipping
know.
and sliding in his sand, it wasn't,
But-
there's no grip to it. So I had to talk with Rex, a long talk, this summer, because Donahue, when they owned that pit, they used to make the sand, they put,
When Donnie
fillings
over
into the
that
sand.
pit,
And
I run the loader.
Bill told me he talked to
I run the
Donahue.
loader for Donahue, I broke that pit open.
Yep,
And that was 20 years ago, I think.
okay,
I work for Stacy Thompson and I work for Rex Caulder, and I've been running loaders and trucks and sand and dirt and rocks my entire life. I know all about it.
Mike, do other
I know as
areas,
much as you do or more.
do other communities use this sand for down there for winter
Lincoln
sand?
uses Andrew's sand, because they had the same problems
What
with
about the
Rex's
state?
sand.
How about the state of New Hampshire, from Crawford Notch to Thornton, they use Calder sand, and they probably got almost as complicated a road system as you have.
Well,
They use it, and it's like, I'm
they're
talking.
not gonna be much longer, from what I was told on a conversation, they're gonna be getting their sand from a
Yeah, but they,
place
now,
over
they haven't
in Conway,
been.
because they said the same thing, there's
We're
not
not
much
talking
grip to
about
it.
what's gonna happen tomorrow, we're talking about now.
But they're not
I was
using it right
told
now.
that they topped off their sand from Calder's this year, just to top off the sand, that they're not gonna use it
I
much
know,
longer.
I'm saying there from Crawford Notch to Thornton.
That's
Every
Crawford
shed
Notch,
they
Skip,
own.
that's not the town of Woodstock, and I'm in charge
Oh, I
of the
know
town of
they're
Woodstock,
not. I
I'm
know
looking out for
that's
my
not.
residents.
But I'm just saying
If I'm
now,
putting out sand that's not working, why would I wanna keep using it just
I
to
don't know.
give you
I
a
don't
job?
know.
I
That's
mean,
why I'm here to ask you these questions.
cause I was having better luck
I'm
with
not
Andrew
here
sand.
to be a wise guy, no.
No, and I'm just trying to answer your
You
question.
made there, it sounded like you were.
Huh?
I said, there's a few statements you made there, it sounded like you were. I know who runs the town, you do, I know that.
Okay,
You know, that ain't
well,
my question.
it's my
who runs it.
decision, I was not happy with the sand. So I went elsewhere, tried their sand, and I had better luck with it.
So in other words, what you're saying is it's completely up to you. No matter how much it costs us. And nobody can question it, is that roughly what you're
Well, you
saying?
question it, any
Well, I know,
taxpayer
I
can
mean,
question
what
it.
you say.
I've never had nobody question this or have a problem with it. Rex never had a problem with it. For 3 years, I didn't use his sand, and he never complained.
Oh, I don't know what he
Well,
does, I'm
yeah.
just wondering about,
And
Rex
you've had
pays a lot
conversation
more
with Rex.
taxes. than
I
we
had,
do.
So-
yes, I had a
and
conversation with
we've
Rex this summer, and I said if
Right,
he
and
was,
you did just a couple weeks ago, a week ago,
yeah,
right?
Rex come down to the shop.
Right.
Because everything was
And
going nutty,
we've-
and
right,
people were
and
starting
we've
stuff and
cleared the
saying
air
I
with
was
him on
saying
that.
stuff.
Rex actually said
So
he
Rex
didn't have
come and
sand to
saw
sell
me,
us.
and
Right.
he said, I only had 400 yards for anybody sand. I'm not selling you sand this year. He said, I haven't sold you sand in 3 years. I said, Jerry. I said, so I don't know where the problem's coming, and he said, I don't either.
Okay.
Because we talked last summer, and I said, if you're gonna make sand, put grip in it, and make it a better sand, then call me, and I'll buy it.
There you go.
And he said, don't worry about it, I'm not gonna put any more money into the sand, the sand is what it is.
Okay.
And there was
So
no
if
problem
Rex,
until
I think
now.
a conversation, have a conversation with Rex this coming summer to see what he plans on for this coming
Right,
winter
I-
for
and
road
I told
sand,
him
and
then,
see
if
if
he
the
wants to-
opportunity exists again to purchase from him.
Right, and Rex had
Okay.
no problem with it this summer, he said, yep, no problem, cause I buy other materials from him, I have him for emergency calls, I keep them busy.
Okay,
And he has no problem with me not buying the sand.
very good. Okay,
And that's the reason why I don't use the sand, is because Andrew's
So,
working better.
What's this about Mark Harrington having it tested? What's that all?
I was told that Rex's sand failed the test, so I went to find out why or what more information on it, and I found out that it was not, the
Failed
sand
what
isn't what
test?
was tested. Something else was for a different
Failed
project.
what test?
Huh?
What test did it fail? That made you ask?
That was not they wouldn't tell me.
No, but I mean, what,
I think they need to go to.
how did that all come about that Mark
Someone had told me
Harrington-
that,
Mark Harrington do, just grab a bucket of sand, hit the concrete, or what? Well, how did that
What?
happen?
I'm trying to
They
tell you,
need to go to the
what
state
I was
to get
told
okay.
is that the sand was taken to Concord and tested.
Why is
Keep
that?
on
So we'll have to ask
And it
Concord for
failed.
the test results.
Well, when I
But
checked
who
on it,
decided
I
to
found
take
out
it
that
to
it wasn't
Concord?
the same.
Was it Mark Harrington or you, or?
No, we did
Mark
not
Harrington
request the
takes
same.
samples to Concord. He doesn't test them himself.
I know that, but what did he say one night? I'm gonna
He
go to
should be
Woodstock and
speaking
get
for
some
the
of this
state.
sand.
Yeah, we
It's
can't
the
speak
same.
for the
I
state,
asked
Mark
him to.
Harrington, Mark
There you
Harrington.
go, that's what I asked you in the
Because,
first place.
because I found out that Rex's
You're the
sand,
one that had Mark Harrington take it to Concord, right?
can I please finish, Gab?
I asked
trying
you
to
a
explain
question,
it.
all I wanted to know was how did
We
that
did not
happen?
ask.
I'm trying to explain that to you.
Well,
Alright, this is going
alright,
nowhere.
I was told that Rex's sand failed the test. So I checked with Mark Harrington, because supposedly he was the one that did it, took the sample down. Mark said, no, it was not the sand that failed the test, it was a different product from a different project. He didn't tell me what it was, because it's not my business. He said, but the sand was not tested. So I asked him, well, what is involved in doing that? And he says, I can go up to the state shed and find out what sand is Rex's, and I can take a sample from your shed, and I can take them to Concord and test them. I said, okay, what's it cost, what's involved? And he says, nope, don't worry about it. Well, before he did that, Rex came down and saw me and said, Mike, I have no problem with you not buying the sand, there's no issues there, I don't know what's going on. And so I said, all right, so I called Mark and I said, don't worry about the sampling. Rex is fine with me, he's all set, there's no questions, everything's okay. So he did not take them to be tested. But the reason why I was, because I was told it failed, and I was just curious.
Well, I was told, now again, all I was asking you in the first place was, before you give me that explanation, which I appreciate, is that I just wondered how that got initiated, and it got initiated because you asked me to.
Not
Or in the
recently.
beginning.
I was
Not in
trying
the
to get
beginning.
to the bottom of everything. I'm trying to get all my facts before Rex and everybody comes to me. I try to get all the facts that I can get for them,
Yeah.
and so I can answer any questions they have. So I'm just trying to get ahead of the
Well,
whole
when I
thing.
was asking Selectmen about it, the answer I got was, Mark Harrington brought some sand, and I assumed when he brought some sand to Concord, he
That
did
was
it-
when I
that was
first
for road
heard about
sand,
that.
not for another job somewhere.
Gil didn't know about that at the time, and neither did I.
No,
That's why I called Mark Harrington personally and found
I
out.
didn't
the
either,
truth.
I guess that's why I'm asking about it.
Yeah,
I'm only
no, I'm
asking,
trying to
so
tell you the
Mike,
truth.
I'm only asking,
I
I'm
get it.
not trying to cause you trouble.
No, I know.
I
I'm
think
trying-
it-
Defensive.
I
Skippy,
want you
to
to
be
have the
clear,
answers you're looking for.
We didn't, I think what he's asking is did we initiate that back when Mark did that?
No, no,
And
no.
no, we did
No,
not,
That's
we
what I
did,
asked.
No,
we
oh,
did
when
not
Mark first-
initiate.
And I also asked if you know, how did it get initiated?
We don't know, we were just told by the state shed in Lincoln that it was done.
That was for Lincoln or Woodstock? Is that for the state or for
The
the
state,
town?
it was
The
a
state.
state shed in Lincoln,
So in other words,
We
the
had
name
nothing
hasn't
to
used
do with
Rick
it.
didn't pertain to Woodstock state,
Right.
it pertained to the state state. Is that's what
Yes.
I'm getting out of
Correct.
this conversation?
correct.
Correct.
So that had
And we were
nothing to do with
misinformed.
It
us.
had nothing to do with
Mark
us.
Harrington had nothing to do with testing.
As I found
No.
out since I spoke with you. I
Right.
didn't know that.
Okay.
He
well,
didn't know that
when I
at the
first
time.
spoke
He
with
heard
you.
what I heard.
That was a
Telephone.
week or so ago I talked to you.
A
Sorry,
couple
I
weeks.
just-
It was after I
Yeah.
had talked to him, to Gil, that I said, well, I'm gonna get all my ducks in a row, so I'm gonna call Mark Harrington, I'm gonna get to the bottom of everything.
Well, see, I'm just, like I said, Mike, I mean,
Yep.
I'm
No, you're
just
going by
going
what
by
we
what I
were
was
told.
told. I'm saying,
Yep.
why is this truck bouncing up and down Route 3 15 miles with 6 yards of dirt on it, with them plows all dangling off it?
Do we,
That's not, to me, that don't make sense, and for, what is it, 9? You know the price off the top of your head?
I don't know what Rex was charging for sand, he says he gives me a discount, but I don't know what it
I
is.
don't either, but I will in a minute.
And I'm not sure exactly what I pay Andrews, I can find out,
we have that.
'cause I don't know if I get a discount from.
$7.50 is what Caulder charges for the material, $9.50 is what Andrews charges.
But I don't know if they give me a discount, cause he's only doing it for a certain few
Wow.
towns.
They charge $9.50, Caulder charges $7.50, Caulder charges trucking $30. Your truck hauls 6 yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's 6 yards with a couple plows hanging off, but that's, to me, that's
When he was hauling sand out of the shed, he takes the highway and he takes the
I
head
don't
plow
care
off.
what he takes, you shouldn't be
you
running
can
in
chain
trucks
the wing.
with plows dangling off them with 6 yards of dirt on them. I don't care.
Well, they
how
do
many
when they
hauls
plow all
2
the
yards.
roads too. He travels all the way to Merrill Lake every day, every time it
Not me.
snows. He travels all the way up to Lincoln to the high school, he travels all the way to Merrill Lake with the
Well, yeah,
iron
you gotta
dangling.
travel when you're doing road maintenance, cause that's what we bought the truck for, to do road maintenance, but you shouldn't be
hauling-
traveling 15 miles one way and hauling dirt with that thing with plows
No.
on it.
He
Do you
takes
put
the head
plows
plow
down
off.
now?
He takes the head plow off.
He takes the plow.
I met him
And they
with all the
chain the
plows
wing.
on it.
Maybe he
Well,
was
maybe
going
he
to.
was maintaining
He's
the
probably
road.
going to Merrill Lake.
That was
Every
a
time he
question-
goes
that
out
got
to
my
maintain
attention.
roads, he has sand in the truck.
I know that, that's what it's built for.
Correct.
That's for maintenance of the road, that ain't for transporting.
It, It's a dump truck, Skip.
I know what it is.
It's-
Do you think
we
I know
bought
what
it
a
to-
dump truck
we
is?
bought
You
it
get
to
the
do whatever we
beginning
needed
of
to
it.
do.
Irritate me.
If
you
we
got
have to
my
haul
say something.
sand, we use the
Alright,
truck.
You
all
come
right,
back
all
with
right.
one of these smart remarks of yours.
Okay,
There
yeah.
you go.
I'm
alright.
trying to tell you something here. I'm trying to voice my opinion. Do I have a right to do that or
You-
don't
And
I?
we've heard it.
No, you haven't really heard it, because
Okay,
Andrews gets $9.50, Caulder gets $7.50, and he gets $30 for trucking it. Alright, so you haul 6 yards, you gotta make 2.5 trips from Thornton to your shed to make as many as one of a 10-wheeler. I don't care who owns a 10-wheeler, or if it's rented, or if it's given to them for a couple of weeks for nothing, I don't care about none of that. But for 14.6 yards, it takes one trip with a 10-wheeler, a 10-wheeler. With that little dump truck, it takes 2.5 trips to make the same thing. The cost of that is $142.50 it costs you to go to Thornton and get a load of 6 yards of sand with that dump truck. That is a dump truck, I realize that. Caulder's truck, or a 14-yard, 0.6 yard, if it was Caulder's truck, would cost $139.50 for that, for a load. You'd have to make 2.5 trips to get the same amount. To me, I was just thinking it would make more sense to buy the material from Caulder.
But the material
Thank you.
isn't as good.
That's what-
There
Is
you
my
go,
base-
you've
We
you've
understand.
answered
Yep.
my question, Mike. I realize you're saying the material isn't as good.
Right.
And
One
Rex
of
doesn't
my
have it to
points
sell.
is-
And Rex doesn't have it, Rex has said he doesn't have it to sell this year anyway.
Rex
We
weren't gonna
will
sell it to
have
me
the
anyway.
conversation with again with him next summer,
The,
okay?
another point I was gonna try to get across is,
Okay,
I don't know how to say it without getting everybody ugly, but I know now, whether Calder's not gonna sell them any sand next year or tomorrow afternoon, I don't know and I don't care.
Okay.
I do know I hauled sand from Crawford Knott shed to the Thornton shed, and we filled every shed, and I'm talking 400, 500, 600 yards per shed.
okay,
And that covers every highway, off-ramp, on-ramp, interstate, class 5, dirt, everything the state maintains from Crawford Knott shed to Thornton shed. And they seem to get by pretty good with that sand. They didn't have nobody get killed or slide off the road because that sand weren't no good. And they've been buying it for some amount of years. I've been hauling it myself personally.
well, thank you for
Just
that.
made me
Yep,
kinda wonder why we're buying it at the price it's costing. And I work at Calder's, I'd like to see him get the contract. I'd like to see anybody local get the
Yep.
contract.
understandable,
And it's,
Thank you.
you know, I was curious.
yep,
I
Thank
think
you for
I got
coming to
some
us. We
good points,
appreciate
and
it.
I don't think the answer that they're not gonna do it no more after this, whatever it is that
Yep.
was. That don't matter. That has nothing to do with my question or my answers.
okay,
If they can maintain the roads, and I'm talking some serious
Well, the
hills,
state,
corners,
the state
Understand.
uses 90% salt.
right,
They
Wow.
only take sand, if you look at their pile, they've only used a very, very little bit. They very rarely ever use sand
Yeah.
on their
It's-
road.
don't even
Yeah.
get
Very
me
rarely.
going on how much is used.
You look at how
Don't
much
even
salt
go
is
there.
used, I mean, out
okay.
of their shed.
Everybody will hate me
We're-
if you go
We
there.
appreciate you bringing it, we will look at it, like I said, Mike, we'll
Sure.
have the conversation
I
with him again
understand
next
he's
summer.
in charge of the road crew,
Yep.
and I know what a dump truck is, you know.
We
I've been
understand
in one
that,
of
kid.
them a couple times. I know
We
what
get it,
they are.
I
I
get it.
remember teaching a young
I
fellow
work here
named
all the
Mike
time.
Welch how to shift one. once.
Right, probably,
Yeah, I know
Thank
all
you.
about that.
alright,
Mhm.
Loon
you
Mountain,
had-
Loon Mountain,
moving on.
they make fun of Loon Mountain. They're a bunch of dummies up there.
okay, well,
I
that's, we're not,
personally-
we're
I
not
personally
going
was
into
in
that
Charge
today.
of buying sand and salt and maintaining Loon Mountain's winter maintenance on the road. Me personally, I run the crew out.
No
It
one's
was me.
questioning your expertise,
I'm
No
just
one, so
saying,
thank you.
when some of the answers I've gotten, I'm not quite
And he
stupid.
did say
I
he would
know.
not let.
No one would, no one would let me drive a dump truck.
You
In
did-
my right mind.
you
You
did
see you on a
have-
scooter
Right,
shot.
put the curtain.
You did have another question for this evening. Can we move on to that
Yes,
question?
you can, and I
Okay.
appreciate everybody, and I hope you're not mad, Mike, I didn't come
No,
here
I'm
to
not
make
mad at you,
mad.
Skip.
I-
No,
I
no,
know
no.
you got a quick temper, I knew that from years ago. I come from your
I
dad.
try to explain the best I can, and I
Thank you, sir.
get frustrated when I can't.
All right, our turn.
All right, I guess I had to ask, and I'm glad you guys all listened to me again. I apologize if I didn't mean to upset people. I'm not here to make enemies. I'm just here to
Right.
find out for my own personal satisfaction, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you.
And thank you, Mike, and I'm sorry
Yep.
if I upset you.
No, Skip, a lot of times you got questions, just, you know where I live.
I had figured I'd come here. This is the place to come. I ain't gonna go bothering you.
All
Can you
right,
imagine
let's go.
when you stand in your office? Oh,
Yeah.
All right.
No, we go back,
Thank
Skip,
you.
I'll talk to you any day.
problem.
You know, and I'll walk away shaking your hand every time,
I'm
I
not,
promise.
I'm not trying to cause you a hard
No, no, I
time.
know you're
Are we
not.
all
You're just
set?
looking out.
Yep, I'm
Okay.
set, thank
Are you
you.
all set? Thank you. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Maybe we'll come visit you again sometime.
Okay.
okay.
We'd love you to
Come
come see
every
us
other
again.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we're here every other Tuesday.
5 o'clock.
Good
5
entertainment.
o'clock.
But it's hard to do things like this, because like, he gave me some information that weren't nowhere near right, so, you know.
Well, this is a good place to come, so.
And that's why
Thank
I
you for
come
coming
here, that's why I
tonight.
didn't
Yep.
bother Mike,
Yep.
Judy, or
Yep,
anybody
no,
else.
this worked out nicely, so thank you,
I
Skippy.
appreciate it.
No, we appreciate
Okay.
it.
And I'll
All right.
leave you guys to do what you gotta do. and-
Thank you so much, Skip.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
for
Have a good
listening.
night. Stay
I
safe.
appreciate that.
All right, thank you. Don't
Yep,
forget your
well, don't
phone.
forget your book.
Yeah, ooh.
I've been bringing it, that's my Bible.
All right, yes.
See you later.
We'll see you, Skip.
Good night, Skip.
So last meeting, we had a question, from Mike Donahue on an update on the water loss and the evaluation study for EJP. They did email over a progress report. I don't see Mike on here, but we'll just kind of quickly
I'll
run
go
through
over
it,
it, cause I
and
think,
then we'll get it, a
People
copy
might
to him
want-
too.
I can give young Michael a copy of that, he can take it to his
Oh, that
dad.
would be wonderful.
I'll email it to him.
Or we
Oh,
can email
okay.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, that's
Yep.
fine.
But just to go over it, the mapping is pretty well done, they're still working on a few, small ones with Mike. They're also in the process, that wasn't really started to do that. They're helping Mike locate some of the possible lead lines that might be still left in town. There probably aren't a lot, but there might be some. And they emphasize it's not gonna be a full thing, but using the records, it seems like it's working out pretty well. One thing that's interesting I was concerned about is that they feel the master meters at the water well stations are accurate, and we were worried that they're giving us false numbers. They feel that they're pretty accurate. They're gonna do it again. They're also going to they're still in the process of reading the meters a couple more times all the way through town to see if they can isolate any leaks. So far, they have not found a ton. They found a few meters put in backwards, a few meters, they're calibrated wrong. They're working with Mike with all those. But all the hydrants, valves, and all that stuff seem in pretty good shape, but we're gonna have a beautiful map of all that stuff when they're done. The next step, they're gonna get into it's been gotten a little bit slower than they had hoped because of the, half their staff's been out with COVID, the weather and all that stuff, so they're running 3 to 4 weeks behind where they hope to be. But the next big steps are checking the river crossings. I guess that's a process. They have to set up equipment and, see, we haven't found any big leaks yet. We're hoping that, we're not hoping, but we're thinking that might be where we might have a leak.
We need to find something.
One big thing that we had never accounted for was the wastewater treatment plant uses 2% of the Woodstock water. So, which is about six or 700,000 gallons a year of water. That was never accounted for in
Oh, wow,
that.
that's
So
good.
that's,
Yeah, which
That's a
was,
good find.
Really?
which I'm
Yeah.
gonna be
yeah,
following.
we never accounted for it before, and now
Never
we're
gave
gonna,
that a thought.
Judy and I thought we should build each other's departments just to make it square,
That sounds
as far
good.
as that
Yeah,
goes.
that sounds right.
Well, it's a chunk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It was a chunk, yeah,
And
for
when
sure.
I first, we only had 16 days, so I was basing it off on that. Once the meter, they started getting the readings, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, called
That's
Scotty to make sure I was
600 to
calculating it
700,000.
right.
Yeah, well, I was shocked, cause we've been going through this, energy audit and stuff like that of the wastewater treatment plant, and that came up, that it was using, and I said, ooh, what? Go on.
600 to
I-
700,000.
We got 800,000 almost.
No, I guess they used to try to use the gray water or wastewater,
Yeah,
the effluent water to cool pump, stuff like that, and they found that it was plugging up. There's still,
Makes sense.
I mean, that's something to look at down the road, could we use
Creating
other
issues.
water sort, different things for that, but I mean, for right now, that,
You'd have to
It's-
replumb it, because you'd have to get it after it's already been through the system, and then
Sure.
replumb it back through the system.
so,
Filter it.
as
Before
part
it
of,
gets to the river.
as part of the next phase, we'll,
We'll put a well in.
we'll look at all that, I guess, but,
I think we're finding leaks quicker too with the quarterly billing.
the quarterly billing is definitely
We are
helping us
finding the
too.
leaks quicker versus going, but it's still all metered,
Is it
you
working?
know?
Right.
Huh?
The billing quarterly, is it working?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I get, a bill that was twice as big as my 6-month bill 4 times a year.
Thanks,
Well,
Scott.
It's
I
working,
steal it with the kids too.
it's working perfect.
I'm like, oh.
well, use a little less water in your beer.
That's right.
Not the
Oh,
wastewater,
God.
right?
Yeah, the thought there was so that if people get smaller bills at a time, they may be easier to handle
Sure.
through a budget process.
No, I think for
an
me,
individual.
for me, it's better too. No, absolutely. Instead of getting that huge bill twice a year, it's way better,
It's
So-
half a huge bill.
It's easier for the single or elderly, just because the increase.
I'm elderly.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Anyway,
Right.
as moving
Oh.
forward here, they've eliminated a lot of possible places. They still are gonna work a little bit in the private developments and looking at ways that we can, do some more district metering of these private, developments to maybe make it less more their problem than our problem.
He sent a
versus-
quote, I have the quote for, I just have to talk with legal, about the master meter pit for Grandview.
Yeah, because
He did.
Grandview, I don't know if you're familiar, it's a really haphazard, like jury rigged water system. Stan Hilliard, bless his soul, got the town to take over when he was a selectman and lived up there. So,
Well, we don't maintain them, we
No.
supply them.
No.
but we supply them.
We
We
supply the
supply
water.
it, but the problem is we have no control over the lines
over
or
the
anything.
lines or
Right.
anything.
Can't
else.
imagine what's in the ground. for
And
water
we could be
line.
losing a lot of water there, so that's the thing. The river's another thing, and that's it with that. As far as the other water stuff going on, we just finished, a grant with the state that's gonna hopefully bring us in about $90,000 to do a whole water system assessment and capital, assessment over the next year or so, and have public input where we should go with it, stuff like that, so that should be a good exercise. And we'll be doing the same, hopefully with the wastewater, we'll get that same grant, at the end of June, not for sure. And Mike and I are just finishing up, we just got, the blessing for a wastewater, energy upgrade for about $125,000. That grant's in the bag, we think, it's done, pretty much, we just have to do our homework.
Got the
By-
okay, we just
by
gotta do it.
Friday. By Friday.
Scott's the grant machine.
Yeah,
By
that's great.
Friday, we need the money, we have to get it done, so, I think we'll be good with that, so it's all good there. But I think this water thing has turned up a lot of things in that we have a bad well and a good well, and a lot of things that we never realized before, so.
You did an
Well-
energy, you got a grant for the an energy one for the well house too.
Yes, we
Mhm.
have to
The
put the
VFDs.
heating in,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, you're referring to the manganese?
Yeah, the problem, well one is beautiful, well two has a lot of manganese in it. And to look at increasing the water output of those wells, we had looked at put variable speed pumps in where we could up the amount of water we could push out to the town instead of running one pump at a time. Well, all we can do right now is run a pump full blast or off. So we're looking at variable speed pumps, so could blend the water and put it that way. But right now, we're afraid that if we blend too much water in from the second well, then we'll be in trouble and not be able
With
to
the-
meet the
It won't.
manganese.
Right, it won't be enough to
Manganese,
do
right.
So
it.
you're gonna find out
Did you
how
have
much.
problems with that?
No.
So there's a
We surface
chance,
Water.
Because they're
Oh.
We
starting,
do mostly out of the river, so, I mean, we do have some wells, but it's
yeah,
more
Yeah.
surface water and you don't run into that nearly as much, so.
Yeah.
But they're cutting the limits down on it, so
Right,
Oh,
you've gotta deal with it, you know?
Well, you
and,
say no, there's
and
no
it's
problem.
probably
What's gonna
not
have to
be an
happen-
easy thing,
Yeah.
no, it's like a millions of
Well,
dollars
two
having
for
those
treatment.
treatments.
Oh, yeah,
They
But
brought
they
it
say
from
there's grants coming out
84,
for it.
100s down to 30,
yeah,
which is a huge
oh, yeah.
And every kid, you
change.
gotta send
And
out
what's,
those notices that are gonna
what's
scare
gonna,
the death out of people.
And the
Yeah.
filtration system's about $1 million.
so,
so what we're gonna have to end up doing is, it's not a filter system, it's a dilution system.
Yeah,
yeah,
We're gonna have to
Yeah.
dilute what comes out of pump 2 with
With
pump
what?
1.
yeah. Well,
If they
hopefully,
can, they don't know.
we can run our pump one pretty much.
yeah.
But we're trying to increase the amount of water we can give to the town, but we can't do it too much, cause if we draw too much out of
Too.
well two to mix with well one,
You're gonna mess up.
so this is part of what they're gonna figure out. And do we really need another well site too, just to make sure we're covered? So I guess they're gonna look at all those things, and
Yeah, and another tank too.
another tank, I mean, there's a
Well,
lot
too,
of
better
possibilities
location.
out there. But this should give us, you know, a 10-year plan of where we should go with all this. And should we expand the system out to different areas and all different things, so.
Mm.
There'll be some public meetings, public input as they go along, so.
Great. Will that 10-year plan include any line,
Oh, yeah,
like,
What we should
like the
replace.
lower Woodstock
what we should look
lines?
at
Yes.
replacing,
Okay.
upgrading, all
Yep.
over that for the
Okay.
next 10 years.
We're ready to
Great.
go. We
With
have the
lower
plans, if
Woodstock,
we could
I
just
know.
get approved.
We need some money, yeah.
I'm gonna grant, seminar tomorrow.
No,
1
he's-
o'clock.
he's all- constantly.
We're giving away all this money and we
Oh,
need to
yeah.
get it.
We need to get
Yeah.
this right.
So,
We need to be first in line.
And
second
I
last.
read somewhere, oh no, Dan from, Pennachuck told me that we're gonna be on the lookout because he believes there'll be grants coming down through for this
Manganese.
manganese,
Manganese,
and these
Oh, great.
filtration systems, so
Okay.
between,
Dilution.
The only
Yeah, I don't know.
shovel-ready thing we've got ready is the whole pipe at Lower Woodstock where it goes down
From North Station to the end.
around by the old fire station and down
Yeah.
there, that's bad. So we need to replace that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the oldest system in town.
it's weird no one's signing in, I hope that's working.
Well, I was wondering the same thing, if we had the right meeting.
Oh, we're gonna get yelled at again.
We're gonna get yelled at.
I just, it's weird
We're
that
recording
nobody's
still.
on.
They'll have the recording, I'll make sure to get the recording up tomorrow.
Alright. And I'll make sure anybody that wants this can have it.
Yeah,
I'll
maybe we could
email it
post
out.
that with the,
Yep.
with the
Mhm.
minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not a
it's
lot in here, it's just a quick
really weird.
Yeah,
overview.
it's really rude.
That makes me think that there's something wrong.
There's a
but-
link wrong, but,
Um,
okay. So you have, thank you, Scott. That's
Yep.
great. Thank you for working with Scott on these grants.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna cost you.
We had a great time.
That's why I threw out the thank you.
Yeah,
You need to thank Joe.
right. The most
And
confused
Judy.
human being, so
Joe
I was-
Lajewski, you gotta thank him
Thank
too.
you.
Joe
Okay.
Lewinsky at the co-op, he helped us out
Takes
for
good
about
care
an
of
hour
us.
today, and he filled in all the applications for us and sent them back.
So
Yeah.
good.
All we have to do is sign them and send them back.
Send him a box of
It's
chocolates.
just we don't screw it up.
No, he wants a case of beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one beer.
Well, that should be easy, you're
Well,
got
that's
that
easy,
covered.
huh?
Yeah,
Alright, so now we have the revised town building budget, Judy.
Okay, so I'm bringing back to you the town building budget and the sewer collection budget.
Okay.
Revised, one to add, on the town building, I've added the water and sewer expenses for all the town buildings.
Oh, yep.
And then if you go down to the bottom, I needed to adjust the garage heat, cause you'll see
Okay.
we
Yep.
overspent. And that is it, but I had to create line items, cause we were starting to bill.
Yeah.
And I'm
Bill
like,
ourselves. Okay.
Here's the thing, so then, on the sewer, I did the same thing. And
Okay.
then if you go down, you will see the operating on the sewer expense. We are up, and I talked to Kathy, and everything is increasing, gas, trucking, all of that.
Yeah.
And the loads that were going out. So we thought it was best to increase, cause we didn't know what this next year was gonna bring.
Okay. Alright.
And this shows that this budget is overspent, but I have revenue that has come in on the other side for a surcharge of $5,900, so it's really not.
Okay. Great.
It just will show in a different area. So,
Yeah.
I would just, if you guys would motion, I just
Yeah.
wanna make sure we're all transparent
So
here.
we'll take I'll make a motion to accept the revised town buildings budget in the amount of $1,114,139.
I'll get rid of the cents.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah, $39. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
All
I'll
those in
second that.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alright, and then we have, a motion to accept the revised sewer collection and disposal budget in the amount of $472,023. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
Alright.
Okay, so I will bring those, that will finalize your budget, and I will bring that to budget committee tomorrow night.
Okay, okay. So that leads us to public participation on the items that are on this evening's agenda. Any questions or comments?
I'm good.
Okay,
If it doesn't come under old business and I need to come up on the next agenda, that's fine. But on November 2nd, when the town council was here, and she said that the sealed non-public sessions for deeding and liens
yes.
could be open. Is that?
It's on our project list. We're trying to get through town meeting, end of the year stuff, and we're gonna go back through, minutes and unseal those that can be unsealed. It's on our task list.
They're gonna be unsealed.
They're gonna be unsealed. We just need to go through it and determine which ones can actually be unsealed and which ones cannot.
The
So
pro-
don't ask to see them until after town meeting.
Right.
If you could, please.
I will do that.
Okay. We're trying.
'Cause
We
we're
got
gonna
two
go-
ladies in the office.
We're going back a lot of years.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of them should have been open.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it has to be, we have to look at them because
Right,
there was a
exactly.
lot of private information discussed in those meetings that we're taking in the minutes. And if those were put in the minutes, they have to stay sealed,
Right,
but
because we didn't know.
each
So-
set has to be looked at
Yes.
individually.
right.
There may be minutes that you're probably not going to be, cause I put personal information in there.
Ooh.
So, that's why she has to review them.
Great.
So going forward though, we'll be doing it different.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
As far as new business, I got one little thing I got a call from
Sure.
a resident that has property down next to the fire department in Lower Woodstock. Asked if he had heard a rumor that that building was going up for sale instead of the one up here.
No,
That I dispelled, and in case anybody else hears that, the answer is no, we're not selling the Lower Woodstock.
how much can we get for it, do you think?
Oh.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I can put the fire trucks in my old
That's
shop,
right.
sell that one, 'cause you get more money for it.
Did
There
you
you
want
go.
this, Dave?
Oh,
Sorry,
Thank you.
I had an extra, oops, sorry. I didn't mean to throw that at you.
That was a social distancing handoff.
I just had an extra copy, so.
Thank
And
you.
then under, other business, you need to schedule some workshops with us.
Yes, so I wanted to talk, we had on our radar for the mitigation projects with New Hampshire DES and the Conservation Commission. Wonder if we can hold that off until after
At
town
town
meeting,
meeting, yeah.
because we are swamped.
Yeah, just,
And-
run that by Kristen and Jim.
Okay.
Just send them a quick email.
And then I need a working workshop with you guys to finalize my budget ASAP. Not my budget, my warrant.
You
Right.
are,
So you
That's
get
gonna take a
warrant
couple
articles up
meetings.
until Friday, right?
No, up until the 2nd, but I need yours done. So when
Oh,
those
okay.
petition come in, I need to be able to just roll.
Okay.
So
Alright.
so you need, when do you need these warrant articles signed?
I want them now, but.
I know that.
Most of them I can muster through. It's the special ones that we.
The height ordinance and
The
things like
ones
that.
that you're
yeah. I will-
reviewing, the noise,
I did the noise today and
Um,
it seemed fine.
and then just to meet with you guys to review them.
Monday. Are you around?
I'm gone all next week.
Even on Monday?
Even, yeah, as of Saturday,
Alright.
even Monday.
Even Monday.
This week I'm free, pretty
I
much.
could make
I was gonna say,
Friday before noon work.
I could be probably ready to go for Friday. At least rough draft ready to go.
I can do that.
I could do Friday at,
Can do
yeah,
that.
at 11.
Friday at
Friday
11.
at 11?
Gil?
Yeah, I'll fit it into my otherwise loaded.
Thank you for working around my
Business day.
schedule.
So, that would be good, just so we can start,
And I'll make sure I get what I need, the
Right.
height ordinance. And I was gonna talk to John about too, because the height ordinance was put in before we had a ladder truck, right?
Which one?
The building height ordinance.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, I'm not saying we should have 150-foot buildings, but it might be able to be tweaked a little bit. Because right now they're having trouble doing 3-story buildings with the third story being livable. So I'm gonna ask him what his thoughts are before we finish up this.
John's.
Yeah.
John's,
Yeah,
yeah.
perfect. Yep,
Yeah,
no,
that's
that's
it.
good.
And it may
Keep
stay
under
the same, I
75
don't know.
feet.
What?
Gotta keep it under 75 feet. That's
Well-
what
Is that what the ladder truck goes?
Well, yeah, well, I thought it was like 80 or 82 feet.
I don't know, I'm gonna ask John, he's the
Yeah,
expert
double
on
check.
that
The
stuff.
ladder itself,
Okay.
when they first got it, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
11? Okay.
so I'll email Jim and,
Yeah, John should
Yeah,
definitely be
email,
involved in
And
that.
Chris,
Oh, no,
I
I'm
just don't
gonna
want
ask
them to
him,
think
yeah.
that we forgot
I
about
meant
that.
to
yeah,
do it
just
the other
circle
day.
back with them.
Well, bring him in, if
And
we're
you
gonna have
know-
a meeting on it, bring
And
him in.
speaking of the
If he
mitigation,
can get away.
thing, I saw that Thornton put out a nice Facebook post, they're looking at this too,
Oh, okay.
asking for input from their residents
Ooh,
On
and
what?
that'd be
on
nice.
conservation sites and mitigation sites, and I thought that that was a great idea.
Yeah,
That, you know, to put out a Facebook post and encourage people to, because there's, I mean, we're not out and about, somebody might know, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
So, I thought that was really nice how they did that, and maybe we could,
run
More
that by
public-
Jim
more
and Kristen
public
too, just to
involvement.
make sure
Yeah.
they're.
Better.
Yep.
It'd be nice to keep this conservation thing going because it died in the
Right.
vine for so many years.
yeah, I just saw it this week and I thought it was great that they put it out there, and what a great idea that was.
Great. All right, anything else?
Everybody wants to know what the fire was at the ice castle. Come on, nobody knows what the fire was on
Wait,
Saturday
I
at the
gotta,
ice
oh,
castle?
we have,
Fire?
to follow up
I'm
on,
just kidding.
Oh,
do you want me to?
oh, yeah,
They closed the
Yep,
ice
I see
castle
it now.
down for 2 or
Okay.
3 hours
Sorry.
Saturday morning before they opened because they had a fire they set at the ice castle.
Oh, it was
So-
back,
So the traffic was backed up because they were sold out and they turned all the traffic away
So
for
I
2 or
was
3 hours.
sitting
Oh,
here.
that explains the
Oh,
line
is-
that went.
Right, because we haven't had
It
any
took
lines at
Betsy
all.
30
No.
minutes to get here, and then we had people passing on the other side,
Yeah, I
coming
got a
around that
complaint
corner.
from Ken complained on Facebook, and I wasn't aware of it, and I said, geez, that's pretty unusual, we don't usually have that.
No, there
issue now
hasn't
that
been
they've
any
got reserved
backup.
tickets, but-
mm,
But
No, that's not normal.
No, because they didn't let people in from 11 to like 2. So then everybody went at once. So it was,
Then they were crowded.
and then
mm,
All day, they never caught up.
they never caught up. I don't
yeah.
think.
Park
Betsy
It was
got
better
down.
on Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there was no,
It was just because of that. Otherwise, I don't think there's any traffic problems at all
no,
with it.
that
No,
first
no.
year, you know, I'd see
Yeah,
it when I was in here
couple
for the
times.
weekends or on the weekends, but that's the first time I'd seen it.
They've got it
Since
better
it-
organized,
Yeah,
better
the times-
time, better.
The girl was ready to cry. Betsy got out there and she's said, "What's going on?" She is.
But nobody knows. Betsy, do you know what happened?
No, I don't know exactly what happened.
Huh.
I did speak that day, I was working the day shift, so, being that that was so much of a traffic issue, I did speak with the, general manager there.
Yeah.
And she assured me that, she was working as hard as she could
Oh, yeah, I
to
bet.
make it work and to clear up the traffic. They were actually open at noon, and it was the 11 and the 12 o'clock.
Okay,
came at the
that's
same
backed
time.
up, Okay.
Later in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock, they did have the traffic cleared up, and it was to something of usual, normal,
Yeah.
what it was last year. So,
Great.
I think this is an isolated occurrence.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
So yes.
Good to
I
hear.
felt bad for him.
Yeah. Very good. Anything else?
Nobody knows anything.
It would really make the news if the castle burned.
Yeah, what purpose of ice? They must have plenty of water.
Well,
Put it out.
You wanna
I'll make a motion.
You'll make a motion?
Adjourn,
All right,
6:45, 5:45.
second, all those in favor?
Aye.
5:40.
5:40.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
No way.
That's
No
a
way.
Thank you all for
good
coming
one.
out
Long time.
tonight.
Thank you.
Bye, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Hope you had a good time. Go on.